This call is now being recorded.
So, dear learners, welcome to today's session. So, I request to all of you, please kindly put your mic in the mute mode. Namaste, mute mode rakhandu. So, this is a really critical juncture. You are passing through very critical time. No issue. Due to this pandemic, it teaches us one new things. Staying in home, you can continue our work through online, because now we are totally depend upon lot of work through online. So this is the one of the platform is given opportunity to join each other. It's very much possible to have our online counseling classes. In true sense, distance education or digital learning is basically more or less giving more importance to online classes or online system or online grievance, whatever things, the online system are giving more importance. No doubt, even any mode or any education systems, the offline or face-to-face interaction gives much more importance. Without that, the human touch, it's not possible. But still, because due to this, lockdown situation, it's not possible to interact each other through face-to-face. So because of you, our all colleagues, all regional staffs, all study center staffs, all counselor, they are putting lot of labor for you. Because no doubt, sir is a free now. He can stay very happily with his home. Because of you only, he is putting lot of efforts. He is putting 4-5 hours per day to making slides. Preparing himself to take class. All these things he is doing. I mean, thank you very much for your lot of effort, sir. So, with these words, I welcome to Swain sir for today's session. So, now I hand over the session to sir, and I request to all the students, please write your enrollment number or name in the chat box. So, after finish your class, if possible, then you make a call to me. I want to talk with Sangram is there, then I want to talk with Sangram or anybody. So, my number is 98611 So, I welcome once again to Swain sir. Now I hand over the session to sir. Sir, continue your
Thank
session,
you.
sir.
Thank you, sir. Hello. Good morning,
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, sir.
all of you. Today,
Go ahead,
let us
sir.
discuss about TN Modern non-renunciation. Yesterday, we are talking about Professor M.N. Srinivasa's ethno-methodological contribution. Today, we will discuss about TN Modern, prominent professor of India. Non-renunciation, it is an ethnographical work taking into account the religious patterns of Kashmir Pandits. Dr. T.N. Madan was interested to study about Kashmir Pandits. The work is based on three sources. First one is the writer's own intensive field work. Second one is the important written ethnographical works on the Hindu practices of the Brahmins of UP, Orissa, and Karnataka. Third one is pure no fiction dealing with ancient and recent times in Bihar, North India, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu. The writer has the help of the novels on the Hindu society, and he comes up with the sociological interpretations in his book. An excellent description is done on the good way of life and death in the Hindu society, and it also throws light on the different relationships between husband and wife, father and son, renunciation of the householder's life, concepts of auspiciousness, and other social, cultural practices of the Brahmins in the Hindu society since long times has found a moral dilemma between philosophical and the mythological tradition, domesticity and detachment. The conflict between domestic life and a detached life is always central theme of Hinduism. Professor T.N. Madan was interested.
एक्सक्यूज मी सर
Again,
सर ये ऑडियो रिकॉर्डिंग पठेइबे कि ग्रुप रे सर परे
ଏଇଟା ତ ସାର୍ ପଠେଇ ପାରିବେ ପାଣିଗ୍ରାହୀ ସାର୍
Every day you
ପଠେଇ
are
ପାରିବେ
sending.
पाणिग्राही
ମୁଁ
सर
କଣ
शुणुछंती
ନାଇଁ ନାଇଁ ସାର୍ ନଥିବେ
Every day I am sending. Don't worry. Or you can go through our YouTube channel
ओके
also.
थैंक यू सर
ଓକେ
एक्चुअली
ଓକେ
ऑन ड्यूटी अछि तो सेति पई ओके सर थैंक यू
ओके 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 domesticity and detachment. The conflict between domestic life and the detached life is always central theme of Hinduism. This is the central character which distinguishes between human being from the other creatures. The Kashmir Pandits are called as the Bhatta, which means a learned person. They wear Jagyapavita, they speak in Sanskrit language, they keep his top of the head of top hair. The Pandits are divided into several subcastes, which is helpful in the marriage and other types of the hierarchies in day-to-day life. The identity of Pandit cannot be acquired by any other persons other than Pandit caste. The Pandits of Kashmir are were occupying special position in Hindu society. Parenthood, biology, and morality, which is prevalent among the Pandits. Parenthood is important in the Pandit way of life. Barrenness is recognized as a physical deficiency. Mother for the child is both the human and the divine power. Father-child relationship is moral, but it has material dimension. The relationship between child and parent is bound in terms of dharma. There are three fires of domestic life: the fire in the heart, the fire lit periodically to perform rituals, the fire of the body, then life cycle rituals. Childhood ritual of the purification that continues up to 11th day. That means if a child is born in a family, the rituals which are performed It takes 11 days. It prevailed among the Pandits of Kashmir. Then Arnaprasana, feeding of solid meals. In their culture, Arnaprasana ceremony is organized or performed when the child is given solid meals. Then Jagyopavita ceremony, in which the child takes the holy thread. You know, the Brahmins are otherwise considered as twice born, and the Brahmins they wear Jagyopavita, which is uh, provided to them in this ceremony that is called Jagyopavita ceremony. Marriage, which is the principal sanskar of an adult life, the last step is the rite of cremation, which followed the post mortuary rites. The rite of everyday life, which is called as a Nitya Karma. Nitya Karma also includes the observance of death and birth anniversaries of the ancestors. So these are the rituals, and Madan says that Pandit way of life is moralistic, based on good karma, which is guided by dharmic principles. So in our Hindu philosophy, the doctrine of karma is given more importance. In Gita, we have learned karma, the best, how to perform our karma perfectly, by means of which we can achieve our moksha or salvation, which is the ultimate aim of a Hindu. And this karma is guided by dharmic principles. We have to maintain our moral characteristics. We have to perform our dharmic life properly. Then we can achieve moksha. Hindu philosophy is based on the way of life, which way we are living, we are leading our life, how we are performing our duties, maintaining the rituals and customs, traditions, folkways, mores, which are there prevailed in our society. The greatest ambition of the Pandit is to become the householder and perform his karma, which is backed by dharma. So, the greatest ambition of the Pandit of Kashmir that they must be a householder. And how a man can be a householder? When a man gets gets married a woman, then household life starts after marriage. So householder life is prevailed among the Pandit, and they perform their karma during their householder life, and these karmas are performed which is backed by dharma. So Ian Madan has studied uh, the Pandits of Kashmir and their lifestyle, their rituals, their parenthood, their biology and morality, and the life cycle rituals which is prevailed in Kashmir. Concepts of auspiciousness and purity. Madan has clarified the notion of auspiciousness in relation to the notion of purity. Two things come to our mind. One is auspiciousness, another is inauspiciousness. So here Professor Madan has tried to clarify the notion of auspiciousness uh, in relation to the notion of purity. Notion of Subha refers directly to time and temporal events in relation to particular categories of people. So, in Hindu culture, there is Subha and Asubha. Some days are Subha, some days are Asubha, some grahas are Subha, some grahas are Asubha. These are the uh, feelings which is prevailed in Hindu culture. There may be several Subha months and days. Subha is also employed to refer happy events of life, like marriage and birth of a son. ବିବାହ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟକୁ ଆମେ ଶୁଭ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟ ବୋଲି କହନ୍ତି ଏବଂ ଯଦି ପୁତ୍ର ସନ୍ତାନଟିଏ ଜାତ ହୁଏ ତାହେଲେ ଆମେ ଶୁଭ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟ ବୋଲି କହୁ। କଳସ is associated with the commencement of a ritual of religious and social value. ଆମେ ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ ଶୁଭ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟରେ କଳସ ରଖି ଅଗ୍ର ପୂଜ୍ୟ ଗଣେଶଙ୍କୁ ପୂଜା କରନ୍ତି। ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ ପୂଜା ଅର୍ଚ୍ଚନା ଯେତେବେଳେ ଘରେ ହୁଏ, ପୂଜା ପାଠ ହୁଏ, ସେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ କଳସ ବ୍ରାହ୍ମଣଙ୍କ ଦ୍ୱାରା ପଣ୍ଡିତ ମାନଙ୍କ ପରିବାରରେ ତାଙ୍କର ଏଟା ସିଷ୍ଟମ ଅଛି। କଳସ ରଖି ସେମାନେ ରିଲିଜିୟସ୍ ରିଚୁଆଲ୍ସ ଗୁଡ଼ିକ ପରଫର୍ମ କରନ୍ତି। The grahas are categorized as Subha and Asubha. You know there are 9 grahas. Among the 9 grahas, only 3 grahas are Subha, namely Brahaspati, Chandrama, and Shukra. These 3 are Subha grahas and are considered as Subha. Buddha is a neutral graha, the most pure and sacred thing is ଯଜ୍ଞୋପବୀତ। ପଣ୍ଡିତ ମାନଙ୍କର ସବୁଠୁ ସାକ୍ରେଡ ଆଉ ପିଓର ଆକ୍ଟିଭିଟି ହେଲା they use ଯଜ୍ଞୋପବୀତ, they perform a specific ceremony for this, that is called ଯଜ୍ଞୋପବୀତ ceremony. The notion of asceticism and eroticism. Asceticism and eroticism. Asceticism ର ଓଡ଼ିଆ କହିବି? Asceticism କହିଲେ ବୈରାଗ୍ୟ ଭାବ, eroticism କହିଲେ ପ୍ରେମ ଭାବ ବା କାମ ଭାବ। The notion of asceticism and eroticism are described with the help of key novels, namely the Chitralekha, Kara, and Chaja. The story of Chitralekha. The story of Chitralekha is based on the concept of Papo and Punya. There were two disciples of a guru who wanted to know the difference between Papo and Punya. The guru sends them to discover themselves the concept of Papo and Punya. They belong to Brahmin and Kshatriya caste. The Brahmin became the disciple of the great yogi called Margiri, and the Kshatriya became the servant to a feudal lord, namely Bijapu. Umargiri claims that he is free from bodily desires and attachments. Bijagupta possesses all types of bodily desires and joys of the worldly things. He attached to a famous dancer. He was attracted to a famous dancer named as Chitralekha. She is a dancer, intelligent, and cultured woman. The dancer and Vijayagupta live together to fulfill their bodily appetites or their desires. Once they took shelter into Kumargiri's hermitage. Kumargiri considers women as the darkness of the attachment, desire, and illusion. After some time, this leads to the thorough discussion between Chitralekha and him. Kumargiri was much impressed, and his conception about women was transformed and produced a positive attitude about them. Here, Kumargiri changed his attitude towards women. Chitralekha came again to his heritage and he was in love with it. He said, women is a source of success and a main source of creation. Kumargiri was attracted towards her bodily beauty also. Finally, Chitralekha leaves Vijayagupta. Now Kumargiri's conception changed. The real renounced much into must include the love whole thing. Vijayagupta was attracted towards Yasodhara, but he did not marry her. Finally, Chitragupta joined Vijayagupta in the quest of the spirit, who interpreted that both of these disciples again went to their guru and asked him or told their experiences to the Guru. The Guru interpreted that human beings are not autonomous moral agents at all. People have to act according to the situation in life. Guru କହିଲେ ସିଚୁଏସନ ଅଫ ଲାଇଫକୁ ନେଇ ବ୍ୟକ୍ତିର ମନୋଭାବ ପରିବର୍ତ୍ତନ ହୁଏ, ଆଟିଚ୍ୟୁଡ ପରିବର୍ତ୍ତନ ହେଇଯାଏ। Story of sanskar. The story is from Durvasapur, a hamlet of Karnataka. There lived two Brahmins, Pranashcharya and Norappa. Pranashcharya was to be free from all the passions. He married an invalid child of 12 years old when he was 16. He had done it to earn posterity and self-sacrifice. Then he started living as an ideal sadhu. Everybody in the village respected him due to his knowledge and humanity. Narepa was a corrupt Brahmin and married a low caste. His mother was a prostitute in her time. He consumed, he consumed meat and liquor, died of the plague. Nobody wanted to take part on his cremation as he was a corrupt Brahmin. Finally, the villagers came to Pranashcharya for advice. Narepa's wife Chandri was childless. Chandri came in contact of Pranashcharya, hoping to rear a child. He feels guilty to reality. He told the villagers that he is lost and he is no more Acharya. He finally left the village and his home. The writer of the story thus concludes that authenticity rather than an opposition between eroticism and asceticism as the ultimate criteria of moral choices. Then, story of Jojat. The third story is based on the episode of Mahabharata. Jajati is a king's son. He became a talented prince and later on persuaded his father to perform Aswamedha, the first sacrifice of world conquer, conquest, and victory. He made his elder brother, Jati, says that is the war, a source of this is the body, which is the source of all types of evils, and in the main hindrances in the path of spirituality. Sajati next encounter is with a young man, namely Koch, who was the son of Brihaspati. Koch's view point was we should not exclude the worldly pursuit like artha, kama, and other pleasures as it is the dharma of man. Koch became the pupil of Shukracharya. Koch falls in love with uh, Devajani, daughter of Shukracharya, but he developed, but he avoided presence as it will hamper the path of the spiritual quest. He also wins the love of Sarmishta, the daughter of the king of demons. He then confesses his love for Devajani. Jagati married Devjani, but their relation was strained and their soul was not in unison. Internally, Devjani keeps her love alive, her coach. Once she was uh, invited coach and he came with Jati, whose behavior was strange to everybody. Finally, as the relationship between Devjani and Jati was strained, mutual love developed between Jajati and Sarmishtra. Later on, by knowing the that Devjani forbids Jajati to touch her body, the writer of the story suggests that only true moral basic of worldly life can be self-sacrifice. Indian mother thus writes the householder should live by the morality of Purusartha as given in the three values, values of Dharma, Karma, and the desire and the good. In the course of studying the Pandits of Kashmir, Madan finds one thing, that is the concern for problems of suffering, that is dukkha. that is dukkha. It is considered the cause of dukkha is the wrongdoing the person. These wrongs are committed the ignorant. Those who attain the moral perfection and discipline doesn't suffer from agony. Everybody who commits sins thus has to suffer in his own way. That means ଦୁଃଖ ବା ସଫରିଂସ୍ ଏସବୁ ଆସେ ଯୋଉ ଲୋକମାନେ ନିଜର କର୍ମକୁ ଠିକ ଭାବେ ପାଳନ କରନ୍ତି ନାହିଁ ବା ରଙ୍ଗ ଡୁଇଂରେ ଯୋଉମାନେ ଅଛନ୍ତି ସେମାନେ ଦୁଃଖର ସମ୍ମୁଖୀନ ହୁଅନ୍ତି। Those who are committed in ignorance also କେତେକ ବ୍ୟକ୍ତି ଦୁଃଖ ଭୋଗ କରନ୍ତି। ଆଉ କେତେକ those who are suffering from agony they are not morally perfect. Morally they are not this. Everybody those who commit sins the ପାପ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟରେ ସଂଶ୍ଳିଷ୍ଟ ହୁଅନ୍ତି ସେମାନେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଦୁଃଖ ଭୋଗ କରନ୍ତି। Thus to suffer ଏମିତି କାର୍ଯ୍ୟ କରିବ ସେଭଳି ଦଣ୍ଡ ବିଧାନ ବା ଦୁଃଖ ତା ଲାଇଫରେ ଆସେ। Living and dying. According to T.N. Modern, the attitudes of a people to death and dying, or living or dying, should be viewed in their totality, bringing out the interconnectedness of belief, emotion, and behavior. Death in every religion is regarded as the divine wish. ଈଶ୍ୱରଙ୍କ ଇଚ୍ଛା ନହେଲେ ମୃତ୍ୟୁ ହବ ନାହିଁ। In Kashmir, death is considered as the family affairs. Pandits say one has to die one day. ଜାତଶ୍ଚୈ ଧ୍ରୁବମ୍। ତେଣୁ ପଣ୍ଡିତ ମାନଙ୍କର ଧାରଣା ଯେ ଜନ୍ମ ନେଇଛି ସେ ଦିନେ ଦିନେ ମୃତ୍ୟୁ ହବ। Good life may be available in the manner a person attains his death. ଯୋଉମାନେ ଭଲ ଜୀବନ ଯାପନ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ବା ମ୍ୟାନର ଯୋଉମାନଙ୍କର ଠିକ ଅଛି ସେମାନଙ୍କର ଡେଥ୍ ଭଲ ମରଣ ହୁଏ। A good death means the death in place in an auspicious time and the good physical state of the person at the time of his death. Isu condition thile ଭଲ ମରଣ ବୋଲି କୁହାଯାଏ। A bad death is explained as the result of the bad karma of the previous life of the people. ଯଦି ପୂର୍ବ ଜନ୍ମରେ କିଛି ମନ୍ଦ କାମ କରିଥିବା ଲୋକ ତାହେଲେ ଭଲ ମୃତ୍ୟୁ ହବ। The notion of collective death is referred as Mahapralaya. Is also the attitude as the decline of dharma. A widow has to lead a life of a sufferer, and the man can remarry. In Brahmin's community or among the Pandits, the woman, if she becomes widow, then she suffers for the rest of her life. Killing of any kind is prohibited in Pandit society. The killing of Brahmin is called as Brahmahatya. It is equivalent to the killing of a cow. There are lots of rituals involved after the death. As soon as the death is occurred, the event is made public through weeping by women and children. The visitors arrange for cremation of the dead, and they also arrange for the feeding of the fat. After the cremation, the dead man is considered to live in the state of death, or otherwise known as ghost, for 11 days. During the time of various rituals are performed and food offering is made sustain the breath. Offering of food to the dead on the death anniversary, the Pandits conceptualize their death as something necessary for the fulfillment of the life cycle. The Pandit then their death as something necessary for the fulfillment of the life cycle. So, in our Hindu philosophy, there is birth and rebirth. Soul is immortal. One man is dead, his body is perished or destroyed, but the soul enters into another body. So there is life cycle which is prevailing among the Hindus, and it is also prevalent among the Pandits of Asi. Professor P. N. Madan writes that the distinction between the religious and secular, which is fundamental in Western society, is not easily made in Indian. We can understand the Hindu ethos and culture in its own way, and any deviations in interpretations can give an image of a distorted picture of this way of life. He considers that the history of Hinduism constitutes also the sociology of Hinduism. The Brahminical tradition is more or less similar everywhere. The notion of papa and punya is based on the dharma and its adherents. one has to complete life cycle according to Purushartha. For a Hindu, the moral awareness is very important to live a good life. It's all about Professor T.N. Adams' contribution towards the ethno-meteorological study of the Pandits of Kashmir. Then Sudhir Kakar summons districts and doctors. A cross-cultural studies of mental health were introduced by anthropologists in the middle of the 20th century. Very few psychologists in India actually went to test the psychoanalytical theories in the field. In this study, Bir Kakar considered as the both pioneer and a recognized scholar. His works have made use of the anthropological techniques of field work along with the sociological insights of looking into textual traditions and comparative analysis comparing neo-Freudian theories with non-Western, in this case, specifically Indian systems of healing. It follows the postmodern traditions of not privileging Western systems of knowledge. This book is both an analytical work as well as a story of Kakkar's journey across India, meeting healers of various traditions. He takes into account the diversity of Indian life as the journey as he journeys from rural to tribal areas and into the modern cities. Thus, to Kakkar, there is no difference between the tribal shaman and the modern psychiatrist. The concept of healing, Oxford English Dictionary defines uh, healing as to restore from some evil condition or affection to save purity, cleanse, repair, or mend. The healers are the Vedas of Hindu Ayurveda and Siddha system, and the Hakim of the Islamic Unani tradition, plus astrologers, sadhus, herbalists, diviners, matas, bhagwan, and host of other practitioners. The concept of healing is firmly rooted in a tradition where healing is not a separate medical domain, falls within the mystical spiritual sphere, a phenomenon not only widespread in India but in many non-Western cultures. In Hindu view, the self is not situated in the present but linked to the cycle of karma that stretches over many lives, and so does the social order that extends much beyond the present to include the present to both ancestors and the progeny. So healing is a door that needs to be understood much beyond its medical sense, and health becomes a concept that encompasses the social, cultural, and metaphysical aspect of a person's life, transcending the mere physical. In this book, there is an attempt to integrate the healer's method and approach within a framework of universalistic psychological theory. He realizes that to make his work theoretically acceptable psychologists, the peer of Patesa Dargah. The Patesa Dargah in Delhi is a mosque built during the 18th century in memory of a Sufi saint. The peer, a man of 87 years of age, sitting in a dinghy and having no material possession, quotes the he subscribed the power that he had to cure people selflessly. He could impress people by his special personal qualities. He had a reputation for miraculous cure. Hakim, who sits outside under the shade of a tree, he gives medicines and considers all ballads and supernatural beings to be irrational fantasies. The healer is a superior moral and ethical being, and his powers are not acquired from outside but come from inside. The peers and babas do not cure by what knowledge they possess, but by acting as a conduct for the divinity. It is the divine force that does the actual healing. If the patient gives anything, it is only as an offering to Allah or a token to take care of the worldly needs of the people. The healers have positive ways of dealing with the psychological ailments. Thus, the Pir Baba would ask every patient about their dreams, and this would open the way for many many unconscious emotions and repressions to surface. The giving of holy water for cleansing of the insides agreed with psychoanalytic interpretation of water as a symbolic cleansing. Balaji Temple in Rajasthan. A temple in Rajasthan in a small town that is Bharatpur. It is believed that the god Balaji or Hanuman, who is inside herein, can cure anything from invasion by preta, madness, epilepsy, and barrenness. The mythology of this temple narrates the Balaji sits here in the lap of his mother Anjana, evoking maternal images of care and healing. Balaji is not alone. He is joined by two deities, namely Pretharaja or Dharmaraja, and the other name for the god of death and Mahakala Bhairava, who is an incarnation of Shiva. Those Bhuta Preta power, those Bhuta Preta were nothing but the unfulfilled desires of the living that torment them from the unconscious level of their psyche. People suffering from depression often tend to put on weight as their desires are translated into desire for food. The male patients usually suffer from the apprehension of taking on responsibility and feeling of being alone. Tucker sums up by saying that whereas powerlessness in the social dominator female sphere, the demands of autonomous functioning and anxiety at the prospect of limitation seem to be the social correlates of scale. In India, the prospects of separation from the mother also haunts men as the mother-son relationship is usually close. the orange, a tribe in the Chotnagpur plateau of eastern India. A forest dwelling tribe. They practice rudimentary agriculture. Village has its sacred grove of trees and sacred pools and streams that are connected with the deities and the spirit of the ancestors. They have Ubakriya or youth dormitory education institution. A boy is sent at the age of 8 years. The boy learns folklore, dance, music, and other tribal traditions till he is old enough to get married. Someone is locally known as Ayota or Bhagat, and he is a true specialist in that he can distinguish between two kinds of mental illness. One is atrophy, that is caused by worry, anxiety, or physical illness, diagnosis by medical doctor. The other kind is demonic possession theory and is known as satanic disorders attributed to economic spirit. The iota is also able to recognize ailments that need medical treatment like stomach, worms, and ulcers. The patient is advised to get medical help and not waste time and money in demonic thoughts. The Lomas and Mac- Maclanica, the Buddhists, unlike the Hindus and animists, they practice shamanism like the tribes and believe in possession. They came with Dalai Lama when he fled from Tibet and took shelter in Dharmasala. There are three kings of practitioners among the mystics, doctors, and the shaman. The real world is Maya, both physical and mental illness caused by a fault of the mind. A thorough cleaning of the mental and the emotional war is necessary for the cure of every type of mystical traditions. The Sant Mat of the Radha Swami Satsang, a popular movement in northern India and is based upon the Guru Shishya tradition and the need for a living guru to lead one to salvation. It tells that the path to salvation lies in Purshabda Yoga, where one is linked to the celestial sound from the highest region of vision, the abode of the Supreme Being. The R. Radha Swami Satsang makes the most of the notion of collective in creating an atmosphere of cath- catharsis. The followers sit together and praise the Guru. It is this sense of power and eternal purification that comes with greater and greater identification that leads to healing of the inner self. Tantra and tantric healing. Tantra practices are part of Hinduism. They go against most of the moral values and beliefs. It is observed in Bengal, Assam, Kerala, and Kashmir. It deals with forbidden things. It is closest to a psychoanalysis. Both look at the emancipation of the self. Both look upon healing involving a recognition and celebration of human sensual nature. Tantra diagnosis of human mental diseases also. The cult of Mataji Nirmala Devi, a medical student belonging to Christian community. She believes in the basic tenets of Tantrism, namely the Kundalini and the Chakra. She combines Hatha Yoga and Tantrism to practice healing. The followers of Mata realize person is known as and accept the truth because the person, the master, is in front of them, tells them it is true. The weight of tradition of the inner vision is acceptable over and above for the requirement of the empirical period or empirical truth. Thus, when Mataji preaches her version of the human existence to her disciples, it is taken as the truth on questioning. Indian medicine, Ayurveda, it has always existed, having no beginning or end. and singing from the lodge of nature itself. It is a holistic one where physical, psychological, and metaphysical aspects are all given equal importance. It is reflected in the Panchabhuta theory, where a person is composed of the five elements air, fire, water, earth, air, and akash. To have a good health, there must be balance between the three humors wind, bile, and flame. Harmony between the body and the universe and all the elements that compose it. Ayurveda is concerned with balanced food is a very important factor of both diagnosing, diagnosing of diseases and of its cure for a person. Contemporary theories on of religion. So, in this way, we have completed book one. Today, I have to discuss another unit from book two, that is contemporary theorists of religion. Peter Berger, Phenomenology of Religion. The basic aspects of Berger's theoretical framework were laid down in his book, The Social Construction of Reality, in 1906, which he wrote jointly with Thomas Luckman. This book dealt with the sociology of knowledge, explaining the relationship between conviction, commitment, and social reality. Berger used this theoretical framework in a number of his subsequent works. His initial focus was on the fate of religion in America and Europe. He broadened his scope of ending to include the spread of Islam and Christianity. World construction. Borger's work on religion seems with locating its place in the enterprise of world building. Every human society is concerned with the task of constructing a world around it, understanding the meaning of various phenomena, drawing relationship between them, formulating the theories of causality to control the natural forces. Society is a product of man. You know there is the relationship between man and society. Uh, Society is the network of social relationships, as MacIver said, and man cannot live without society. Both society and individual are interdependent and interrelated as well as reciprocal. So, society is the product of man. Man has created social relationship among the individuals. Further, he pays the attention to understanding the relationship between human beings and society. ଯେ ବ୍ୟକ୍ତି ଆଉ ସମାଜ ମଧ୍ୟରେ କି ସମ୍ପର୍କ ଅଛି ସେ କଥା ମଧ୍ୟ ବର୍ଜର ଫାଇଣ୍ଡ ଆଉଟ୍ କରିଛନ୍ତି which finds dialectical in the sense that society is the product of man and man is the product of, that's why I say man and society both are reciprocal. Both are reciprocal. Both are interdependent. Berger says no social reality can be comprehended empirically apart from the dialectic of man and society, including the phenomena of religion. The dialectic of man in society consists of three processes, namely externalization, objectivation, and internalization. These are the three processes by means of which there is dialectic man in society. He emphasized on physical and mental activity of man. Berger emphasized on the physical as well as mental activities of men in society. The chief cultural meaning of a society and religion is one of them can be sustained only if they are internalized by most of the members of that society. So Berger says that religion is a cultural institution, and as a cultural institution, it is a part of society, and it is playing a significant role in society, and it can be sustained. Religion can be sustained only if they are internalized by most of the members of the society. ଯେତେବେଳେ ସମାଜରେ ବହୁ ସଂଖ୍ୟକ ଲୋକ ଇଣ୍ଟରନାଲାଇଜ କରିବେ ଧର୍ମ ସଂକ୍ରାନ୍ତରେ ଏବଂ ଧର୍ମରେ ବିଶ୍ୱାସ କରିବେ ସେତେବେଳେ ଧର୍ମ ଏକ ସାଂସ୍କୃତିକ ଅନୁଷ୍ଠାନ ଭାବରେ ତାର ପ୍ରକାର୍ଯ୍ୟ ସାଧନ କରିବ। Religion and world construction. Borger's concept of religion follows from his understanding of society as a world building and world ordering activity. So, Borger says religion follows from understanding of society as a world building and it is world ordering activity. He distinguishes between homos from cosmos. Nomos from cosmos. Nomos refers to the meaningful order that society imposes on its members. Cosmos means the universe, the sphere around me. So, religion here playing a significant role because nomos refers to the meaningful order that society imposes on members. Cosmos means the universe, the sphere around me. So religion as nomos is influencing the individual in the cosmos, in the universe. So religion is functioning as a world construction. The concept of religion. Berger says religion is the human enterprise by which a sacred cosmos is established. Sacredness resides in the objects of human experience. Thus, this quality is attributed to natural phenomena, objects to human beings, and to things that men have produced. There are sacred rocks, sacred clothes, sacred time, sacred tools, and so on. So forth. So religion is a depends upon sacredness. So religion is an enterprise which makes the cosmos sacred, and the people are motivated by religion, and they experience that the quality is attributed in religion, a natural phenomenon, and objects of human beings and other things that men have produced. There are, there are sacred rocks, sacred clothes, sacred time, sacred tools, sacred mind, secularization. The cosmos may not always be considered as sacred in some societies. For example, in modern society, there have been attempts to secularize the cosmos, deprive of its sacredness. Modern science has played a crucial role in this process. So secularization is a process which has started in the globe, and this secularization process is uh, obstructing the spread of religion to some extent because sacredness, secularization means in our country we have secularization. Any citizen of India can accept and adopt any religion according to his or her own choice and interest. So, religion is there, but individual has got liberty to adopt any religion according to his own. Merger made two important contributions. First, increase rationalization of the world. Second, important of the people on their belief system. The law on an intrinsic link between the process of modernization and secularization and what linked them was plural. Here the point is, Berger made two important contributions. First, increased relations of the world. Second, important of the on their beliefs. The law and the law on the intrinsic link between the process of modernization and secularization, what linked them was plurality. The future of religion. He has showed the religion has continued to exist as a strong and potent force shaping people's imagination and ways of life regardless of the rise of modernity, science, and technology, capitalism, and rational thinking. So, the future of religion and conclusion, future of religion in the opinion of Barker, he says that religion has continued to exist as a strong and a potent force, gripping the people's imagination and ways of life, regardless of the rise of modernity, science, and technology, capitalism, and rational thinking. Modern society, modernization ରହିବ, science ରହିବ, technology ରହିବ, capitalism ରହିବ, rational thinking କେବେ ରହିବ, ଧର୍ମ continue. There is he shows that religion has continued to exist as a strong and potent force in society. In conclusion, culture has made a tremendous impact in the sociology of religion. In fact, some scholars think that it provides a new paradigm for understanding the contemporary. So we discussed about the Borger's contribution on phenomenology of religion. Any question, please? Hello. You know again? I sorry, sorry. Hello. Huh? Hmm. Dr. Rosalind. So communication here ହଉଛି ଯୋଉ ପିଲା ଦେଖା ହଉଥିଲା କାଳେ ବିଶ୍ୱଜିତ କେଣ ଅଛନ୍ତି ନା ଆଉ କିଏ ହନୁମାନ Please, ହଉଛି ହ୍ୟାଲୋ ପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ ଜ୍ଞାନ ଅଛନ୍ତି ଲାଇନରେ ଅଛନ୍ତି ହଁ ସାର୍ ଆଉ ହ୍ୟାଲୋ am I audible? ସବୁ ହେଇଗଲା
Swain. You have joined the call. There is one other person in the call. There are no headings on this page.
Meetings are silent.
Document. MSO document. MSOE 03 my document. Payment Manassi. 4:14 p.m. Show everyone button collapsed. Chat with them. Pictures of details. Turn off. Leave call. Turn off. Turn on. Present now. But more options. Button and enter. Expand. Mental. Stop recording. Enter.